Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Today, we're heading back to, well, ancient Jerusalem.
Okay.
And it's shortly after the Babylonian exile.
Right.
You guys sent us excerpts from the book of Nehemiah.
Hmm.
And let me tell you, this is not like some boring history lesson.
Yeah.
It's a story about resilience and leadership
Hmm.
and, just rebuilding against crazy odds.
It really is.
So to set the scene a little,
Okay.
Nehemiah, he's not like a king or a general or anything.
Right.
He was actually the cupbearer to the Persian king Artaxerxes.
That's right.
Now, that might sound like, I don't know, a pretty basic job,
Yeah.
but it put him in a position of, real influence and trust.
Exactly.
He was close to the king,
Mhm.
heard everything that was going on.
Yeah. That's right.
So then he hears this awful news about Jerusalem, his home.
An ancestral home. Yeah.
Yeah, the walls are like totally messed up.
In ruins. Yeah.
The city is just wide open.
Vulnerable.
And the people are, just totally demoralized.
Absolutely.
So this is where we start to see Nehemiah's leadership qualities come out.
Yeah. His leadership starts to sprout. I like that.
He's seriously upset about what's happening in Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
So he takes a big risk and asks the king if he can go rebuild the city.
Which, I mean, pretty bold move, right?
Yeah. And surprisingly, the king's like, yeah, go for it.
I know, right?
So Nehemiah starts this massive mission.
Mm-hmm.
But he runs into challenges almost immediately.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not just talking about, finding the supplies and getting people organized. He's also dealing with people who really don't want him to succeed.
Some serious opposition.
Yeah, right away we meet Sanballat the Horonite,
Okay.
Tobiah the Ammonite, and
Geshem the Arab.
Geshem the Arab, yes.
These guys, these neighboring officials, they're not thrilled about a strong Jerusalem.
Not one bit.
You have to think about the whole, the geopolitical scene at the time.
Oh, for
Rebuilding Jerusalem, it could totally shift the balance of power in the region.
exactly.
Makes sense they'd be nervous.
And they don't exactly keep their opinions to themselves.
Uh-huh. No, they do not.
They make fun of the Jews, try to scare them,
Intimidation, yeah.
even threaten violence.
Absolutely.
I was reading how they said the wall was so weak, a fox could knock it down.
Oh, yeah. Trying to make them feel like their work is meaningless.
Right. Total psychological warfare.
Designed to crush their morale before they even get started.
Can you imagine trying to rebuild your life, your city,
Yeah.
after everything you've been through?
Right.
And you have these guys constantly putting you down?
I mean, talk about discouraging.
It really shows you. Anytime you try to rebuild something, whether it's a city, a community,
Or even just your own life,
you're going to have people doubting you.
You're always going to have naysayers.
Exactly. But it's how you deal with those challenges.
How you
It really defines you.
It really does.
And Nehemiah, well, he had a plan.
I bet he did.
And he didn't just fly off the handle.
No, he didn't let the taunts get to him.
He was smart about it.
He had a plan.
He was strategic,
Uh-huh.
but he also prayed a lot.
That's right. Combining prayer with practical action.
Yes. Okay, so first, he divides up all the work,
Okay.
assigns different families, groups to work on sections of the wall.
Or,
Then he sets up guards,
mm-hmm.
makes sure everyone has what they need to build and defend themselves,
Okay.
and even comes up with a, trumpet signal system.
Wait, really?
Yeah, so everyone knows if there's an attack.
Wow. So organized.
He's thinking of everything.
Nehemiah is like a master strategist.
Right. He knows what he's doing.
He understands people.
Totally.
And he knows how to keep them safe.
But he also knows that external threats, they're only part of the problem.
Right.
The people were tired, scared, starting to lose hope.
And a community divided like that.
Yeah.
They're easy prey. You can't fight a battle on two fronts like that.
And there's this really powerful scene in the book
Oh, tell me about it.
where the people carrying all the heavy stuff, they just break down.
Oh, no.
They're like, we can't do this anymore. We're too exhausted. There's too much rubble.
Heartbreaking.
I mean, they were just completely drained.
Physically and emotionally, I bet.
Yeah, but Nehemiah, he doesn't, yell at them or anything.
He doesn't.
No. Instead, he does something amazing. He inspires them.
Wow.
He gives this incredible speech.
What does he say?
He reminds them that God is with them.
Okay.
And he tells them to remember the Lord, who is great and awesome,
Powerful stuff.
and to fight for their families, their homes, their future.
He's appealing to their sense of purpose.
He reminds them why they're doing this.
Yeah, bigger than just themselves.
And that they're not alone in this struggle.
That's so important.
It really is.
To feel that sense of community, especially when you're facing those kinds of challenges.
Absolutely.
I think that's something we often overlook.
Yeah.
It's not just about, giving orders and making strategies. It's about connecting with people on a deeper level,
Okay.
understanding their fears, what motivates them,
Right.
and inspiring them to work together.
Toward a common goal.
Exactly. You need that unity to overcome any obstacle.
And he knew that a divided community, one struggling with their own doubts and fears, they'd be easy prey for their enemies.
Absolutely.
So he tackles those internal challenges head on,
That's fascinating.
Yeah, and we see that really clearly in Nehemiah chapter 5,
Okay.
which talks about this growing problem in Jerusalem.
It's that.
Economic disparity and straight up exploitation.
Oh, wow. So while they're rebuilding the walls,
Yeah, while all this amazing stuff is happening.
some people are taking advantage of the situation.
Yeah, some of the wealthier Jews, they start exploiting their own people.
No way.
Yeah, charging crazy high interest rates on loans.
Oh, so they're basically forcing their own people into debt?
Pretty much, yeah, it's like debt bondage.
Man, that's tough.
It's a real reminder that even when you're celebrating a victory, like rebuilding the walls,
Right.
there can still be injustice happening.
It can threaten the whole community
Yeah, exactly.
from the inside.
It's like a hidden crack in the foundation.
Wow. I like that analogy.
Thanks.
But so what happens? What does Nehemiah do about this?
Oh, well, he doesn't just ignore it, that's for sure.
He doesn't.
No way. He's furious.
Good for him.
He calls out the nobles and the rulers who are doing this.
Bold move.
He even calls a big assembly to confront them.
I love that he doesn't shy away from confrontation,
He's not afraid to stand up for what's right.
especially when it means going up against powerful people.
Exactly.
It's a good reminder for all of us,
Yeah.
to speak out against injustice,
Even when it's uncomfortable.
especially when it's uncomfortable.
And one of the things Nehemiah says to them is,
What's that?
he reminds them that they just redeemed their people from slavery. Right. From other nations.
Exactly. And now they're turning around and enslaving their own people within the walls of Jerusalem.
Oh, wow. Talk about hypocrisy.
Right. And it's a message that still resonates today.
Absolutely.
It makes you think about how we treat each other, especially during tough times.
It's so true.
It's like, how do we balance individual freedom
Right.
with responsibility to the community?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
But it's a question we have to keep asking ourselves,
For sure.
especially leaders.
Mm-hmm. They have a responsibility to set the example.
Totally. And Nehemiah definitely does that.
He walks the walk.
But while he's dealing with all this internal stuff, the external threats never really go away.
Oh, right. Sanballat and his crew.
Yeah, they don't give up easily.
So what do?
Well, they realize that brute force isn't working.
Makes sense. The walls are going up.
Right. Jerusalem's getting stronger.
So they ought to try something else.
Exactly. So they switch tactics,
To what?
deception,
Oh, sneaky.
psychological warfare. Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So they start sending Nehemiah all these messages, trying to lure him away from Jerusalem.
Under false pretenses.
Exactly. They act like it's super important. Like
Yeah.
they need to meet to discuss something urgent.
Classic tactic.
Yeah, isolate him, make him vulnerable.
And maybe disrupt the whole rebuilding project while they're at it.
Right. It's a really smart move on their part, even if it's, kind of underhanded.
Well, it's effective.
It is. And when that doesn't work,
Yeah.
they try spreading rumors,
Oh, no?
accusations.
Like what?
They even send this open letter saying that Nehemiah is planning a rebellion against the Persian king.
Wow. So they're trying to make him look bad.
Yeah, and make the king suspicious of him.
That's low.
It is, but it's also a reminder that disinformation, all that stuff, it's not new.
Nope. It's been around forever.
People have been using it to manipulate others for centuries.
And it's still happening today.
It really is.
It's something we all need to be aware of. So how does Nehemiah handle this?
Well, he's smart.
Okay.
He sees right through their lies.
He doesn't fall for it.
Nope. And he doesn't let it scare him.
He's got nerves of steel.
He does. But then it gets even weirder.
Weirder.
There's this false prophet named Shemaiah,
Okay.
and he tries to scare Nehemiah into hiding in the temple.
Wait, why?
He says assassins are coming to kill him.
Oh, wow. Trying to play on his fears.
Right. But Nehemiah, he doesn't buy it.
He doesn't.
He trusts in God and his purpose.
He sees through the deception.
Exactly. And it really shows the importance of critical thinking, yes. especially in a world where there's just so much information.
Information overload.
It's like, how do we know what to believe?
Right. How do we separate truth from falsehood?
It's a skill we all need.
Absolutely. Like, how do we become more like Nehemiah?
Right. Discerning, you know,
Able to spot those attempts to manipulate us.
and make decisions based on our values, not fear.
That's such a powerful lesson,
It is, and it's more relevant than ever today.
especially with social media and, all the echo chambers online.
Totally. And it's not just about protecting yourself, it's also about protecting the community.
Because fear can be just as paralyzing as any physical attack.
Exactly. And Nehemiah understands that.
So how does he address that?
He rallies the people.
Oh,
He tells them to not be afraid. He says, remember the Lord who is great and awesome, and fight for their families, their homes, their future.
He's giving them courage.
He's reminding them what they're fighting for.
More than just bricks and mortar.
Exactly. It's about their community, their way of life.
It's inspiring stuff.
It really is.
It's like he's saying, we're in this together.
Yes, exactly.
And we're not backing down.
And with that kind of unity, with that kind of determination,
What happened?
they achieve something remarkable.
Tell me more. They finished the wall
They do.
in 52 days.
52 days.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I know, right?
That's got to be some kind of record.
It's amazing.
Can you imagine, like, the
Yeah.
feeling when they put that last stone in place?
Oh, yeah.
The whole city must just, like, let out this collective sigh of relief.
Total sense of accomplishment
Right. Like, we did it.
against all odds.
I mean, it's a testament to, hard work and planning and their faith.
Yeah, definitely.
But it also had a huge impact on their enemies.
Oh, yeah. What happened?
Well, the book of Nehemiah says that when Sanballat and Tobiah and all those guys, when they saw the finished walls,
Yeah.
they were crushed.
Really?
Yeah, like totally demoralized.
Wow.
They realized it wasn't just a physical victory. It was symbolic
Of what?
of the resilience of the Jewish people.
In determination.
Exactly. They couldn't be broken.
So Sanballat and Tobiah, they totally underestimated them.
They did. They thought they could, I don't know,
Right.
use mockery and threats, crush their spirits,
Right, but instead, they made them stronger.
Exactly. It's like sometimes opposition can backfire.
It can fuel your determination.
Yes. And the walls themselves, they weren't just like a physical barrier.
Okay.
They represented security community.
A fresh start.
Exactly. And it was like a big message to everyone.
What message?
Jerusalem is back and we're not going anywhere.
Powerful stuff.
It is. But,
What?
it wasn't all smooth sailing after that.
Oh, no.
No, there were still challenges.
Like what?
Well, Tobiah,
That guy.
he didn't give up.
What did he do?
Even after the walls were finished,
Yeah.
he kept trying to cause trouble,
How so?
sending letters, making alliances.
Trying to stir up trouble.
Yeah, he just wouldn't let it go.
Persistent, I guess you could say.
That's one word for it.
But it shows, that rebuilding isn't just about the initial construction.
Right.
It's about maintaining what you've built
Yes. And protecting it.
and constantly adapting to new threats.
Because the work is never really done, is it?
Nope. That's a good lesson for all of us.
It is. And I think that's one of the most important takeaways from Nehemiah's story.
What's that?
It's not just about leadership.
Okay.
It's about resilience, community,
Yeah.
and faith in the face of, crazy adversity.
Absolutely. And it makes you think about,
What?
the walls we build in our own lives.
Oh, yeah?
Not just physical walls, but
Metaphorical ones?
exactly. Like, what are we trying to protect?
Okay.
What are the things that threaten our sense of security?
Or well-being.
Exactly. And how can we use what we've learned from Nehemiah
Yeah.
to face those challenges with courage and wisdom?
And keep rebuilding, even when things get tough.
That's a great question for all of us to think about.
It is. And as we wrap up this deep dive into Nehemiah, I want to leave you with that.
Okay.
What walls are you building in your life?
And what lessons from Nehemiah resonate with you?
Thanks for joining us on this journey back in time.
It's been fascinating.
It has. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning,
Now keep building.
and keep building those walls, whatever they may be.
They finished the wall
They do.
in 52 days.
52 days.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
pretty amazing. Right.
Can you imagine the feeling in the city when they set that last stone?
Oh, I bet it was incredible.
Everyone breathing a sigh of relief.
Total sense of accomplishment. Like, we did it.
Right. Against all odds.
It really is a testament to their, hard work
Planning.
and faith.
Yeah, and, it affected their enemies, too.
What do you mean?
Well, when Sanballat and Tobiah and all those guys saw that the wall was finished, they were crushed.
Really?
Yeah, they were totally demoralized.
Wow, so it wasn't just like a practical defeat?
No, it was way more than that.
What was it?
It was a symbolic victory for the Jewish people,
A symbol of what?
of their resilience, their determination.
Oh, so
Well-
Sanballat and his crew, they totally miscalculated.
Yeah, they did. They thought they could break the Jews with mockery and threats.
But it kind of had the opposite effect.
Yeah, sometimes trying to tear someone down just makes them stronger.
So it's like, those walls weren't just a barrier.
Right, they were way more than that.
Like what?
They represented security, a sense of community.
A fresh start?
Exactly. And, it sent a message to everyone.
Like, hey, we're back.
Jerusalem is back, and we're here to stay.
Powerful stuff.
But, it wasn't all happily ever after.
There were still challenges, huh?
Yeah, remember Tobiah?
Oh, yeah. What about him?
That guy, he did not give up. Even after the walls were finished, he kept trying to mess things up.
No way.
Sending letters, making alliances, you name it.
Trying to undermine everything Nehemiah had accomplished.
Exactly. And it just goes to show that, rebuilding, it's not a one-time thing.
It's an ongoing process.
Yeah, you have to protect what you've built.
And constantly be ready for new challenges.
Because the work is never really done, is it?
Nope. It's a good lesson for all of us.
It is. And I think that's one of the biggest things we can take away from Nehemiah's story.
What's that?
It's not just about leadership. It's about resilience and community and faith. Facing those huge obstacles and never giving up.
Yeah, and it makes me think about the walls we build in our own lives.
What do you mean by that?
Not literal walls, but like the things we're trying to protect.
Yeah.
The things that are important to us.
Our values, our relationships.
Exactly. And how can we learn from Nehemiah
Use his example.
to face our own challenges and build something strong and lasting?
That's a powerful thought.
It is.
And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive into the book of Nehemiah. Thanks for joining us on this journey.
It's been a pleasure.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep building those walls.
Whatever they may be.
Welcome to Charlie and Mia's podcast. We're embarking on an exciting journey to read through the entire Bible in just 1 year. Every day, we dive into Scripture, exploring its meanings and how it applies to our lives today. We invite you to join us on this incredible adventure of learning and discovery. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss an episode.